All right. Mason, my love, let me start this Valentine's Day episode with a question. One that
Okay.
I don't want to hear any of your theories. I just want a simple answer.
Okay.
Did man land on the moon?
I think a man has landed on the moon now. Yes.
That's your answer?
Yeah.
All right. Let me answer that question myself with this
Okay.
question. Does the Earth really have a moon?
I don't know. That's what they tell me.
There's a big rock up there, but some people say it's not a moon at all. It could be a planet.
Oh,
Could be its own planet.
I mean, it could be like you know the theory of like how the moon was created, right?
There's multiple theories, but the one you're talking about, the one where like an asteroid or something hit the Earth and like broke off a piece, and I guess like
Yeah.
the Earth was like a third bigger, but then like that got or
Yeah,
something
like a
like that.
huge asteroid like hit the Earth and caused a
Or
bunch of debris and
yeah,
crap to fly up,
fly
and then
off.
the debris just like
Yeah,
formed into itself or something.
right. They basically changed the criteria of what counts as a planet and what
Right.
doesn't. And this basically is the same thing that caused Pluto to stop being a planet, basically, according to this criteria. But it's so this is why it's bullshit
Rip
because
Pluto.
the moon might get rose up as a planet, and Pluto's back there, right? Still, yeah. So here's the criteria: an object has to meet these four criteria according to the International Astronomical Union. I cannot
Okay.
talk right now. I think I've had too much tea.
Ah,
My hands are shaking. It has to be big enough that gravity pulls it into a ball shape, basically,
okay.
a nice round shape. It has to be big enough to have cleared out all the other asteroids and other like junk from its orbit. So, and then it also needs to orbit the sun. And here's the why the moon is kind of iffy on this. It has to, it by definition is not a satellite of another object. So that's where it's kind of like, ooh, I don't know, you know? Because and the thing that's interesting is because a planet has to like basically like be able to stop asteroids and stuff from like getting near it. Like it protects itself basically with its field, gravity field. And the moon sort of doesn't have a I mean, it has a little bit of gravity, but it's more of like the Earth kind of helps it. Like the Earth
Yeah.
and the moon kind of work together in this really weird, like paired, like binary. So like it's almost like the moon and the Earth. They're not one planet, but they're like together, right?
They coexist or
If they're
whatever.
kittens at a thing at a pet shop and they're sisters, and you're like, I gotta take both, right? It's like you can't like you
Uh
try to grab one, the other one's grabbing on its legs, and you're like, you gotta take both of them. Like,
I was thinking it was more of like a symbiotic relationship
well,
where
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a
Yes,
crocodile and like those birds where the crocodile will open up its mouth and this bird just like picks around its teeth.
yes,
So
yeah.
like the moon benefits the earth
Mm-hmm.
some way, I
It
guess.
affects the tides and it helps the moon orbits the earth and the earth orbits the moon. They
Yeah.
help each other.
I saw this thing. So you know the moon is slowly but surely like leaving our atmosphere. Like every year
Yeah,
it moves
that's
like
what
zero point
happens
0.8
sometimes.
centimeters or something.
The spark, the fire starts to extinguish slowly. It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
It's sad because you almost because we see it coming and we're like we're just trying to now. It's like you just got to enjoy the ride until the
Yeah.
end because at some point you're like summer can't last forever.
Yeah.
It's gotta end. So it's like this is gonna be a sad breakup
But the reason why it's leaving
because Trump
has to
and
do
Elon.
because of the tides too. And it's something about because the world and the way like the tides actually are. The tide makes the world like more of an oval shape versus like a perfect circle, right? And like
Right.
it has two
It it
bulges
it
like on the
bulges on
side.
the
Yeah.
equator. Yeah, it bulges a
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
And
Beautiful planet.
the bulge is what causes the moon to actually slowly move away because it has such
It's
more
intimidating.
impact on the gravity of the moon or like the gravity has I don't know something to do with it gets pulled in, but then like once it passes that bulge, it just kind of slips out.
But what if the Earth starts slowing down? and it's not so extreme. Would that help? I don't know.
Probably because it wouldn't pass those bulge spots as frequently. But
Hmm.
also, man, like, what's going to
Hmm.
happen when we don't have a moon? Like, is tide or like there's not going
Well,
to be
the
tides.
Atlantic
Like, the
Ocean's
ocean
already
is just going to
stopping.
raise.
Well, the Atlantic Ocean's already stopping. So the moon drifting away is already. I don't know if that's the reason why the Atlantic Ocean they say is like the oceanic current. It's like the current, whatever that
Yeah,
runs through the ocean, and the Atlantic is slowing down, and
yeah,
that's a big problem because that shit keeps the temperatures regulated,
yeah,
keeps ocean marine life moving, it keeps everything moving. It's crazy. That probably won't happen until we're like in our 60s or 70s. By that time, we'll just be like,
yeah.
fuck off, everybody
And man,
else.
honestly, like when it comes to the stuff in the ocean, I think they have a better chance of surviving anything than we do. So, I mean,
Yeah, we really should have stayed down there. 60,
yeah,
60% of the oxygen is made from algae. We might as well just stay down there. We should figure out a way to like get extra oxygenated water, which might kill a lot of marine life possibly with all the oxygen in the water, but we'll be able to like swim and breathe underwater, which would be
yeah.
pretty sick. So you
Well,
just
I
gotta, I don't
mean,
know how you do that. So we'll have
yeah,
to talk to smart people about that, but somehow oxygenate the water so I can breathe under it. That'd be sick.
yeah,
I could explore my pond. It'd be
yeah.
fun. It's too murky still. I
Maybe
don't even
we
think the
can,
I don't even think an
maybe
LED would work.
eventually, like studying the human genome, we can unlock like dead genes. So, like back when we were fish, like we can somehow open up the
Whoa,
gene
yeah.
for like gills again or something.
That would hurt to grow,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, it'd probably be better if you're born with it, like Maybelline.
So you know, someone like, I'm not gonna let some scientist inject me with something to let me grow grills. I can grow grills myself. Watch this. And they start doing that, and then they die,
Yeah.
which would be upsetting. But that's what happens.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Let's get it going.
Yeah.
I got it.
Oh,
We're good.
okay.
Wait. There we go. I just need to readjust.
Ah.
Okay. I was working on that earlier. And I'm not very good at switching from G to C without looking at the ukulele, so it's hard to do that bit. Not quite ready for the stage yet. That's why we practice on the show. What's up, everybody? Path 138. It's Valentine's Day week,
Yay.
sort of. It was
Yeah.
2 days ago, 3 days ago, but it's this week. So boom. Hope everyone's having a great, lovely time with your partner. It's been
Or
fun.
by yourself.
Or by yourself. I've been having a fun time. I'm not lonely. I took my mom out to dinner for Valentine's Day. It was a blast.
Nice.
I had shrimp and I had seafood pasta. It was delicious. Anyway, let's get into it, Mason. I thought we'd play a little fun Valentine's Day game sort of
Okay.
thing to get us in the mood for Valentine's Day. Um, let me just get it pulled up here. So this is kind of a would you rather of Valentine's would you rather. This is on this is on the website playpartyplan.com.
Okay.
I had to scroll through a
Very
lot of other like games that had nothing to do. This is more for like parties, I think.
right.
But we
Hence
we're
the
a
name.
party ourselves. So boom, all you need is two
Hey,
people.
I party.
I party. I like to party. So okay, would you rather? I'm just gonna line these up for you. Drink love potion to make someone fall in love with you, or shoot two people with arrows to make them fall in love. They are armor piercing. I'll say that.
Um, I think I'd rather shoot two people. Like,
You'd rather let like have other people fall in love. As in like you'd rather like be
yeah,
the one to get two people to fall in love.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
hey,
I think,
my
well,
friend.
because the love juice thing, I feel like from the
Hmm.
sound of it, like I don't really have a choice in that. Like, it's just someone's going to end up loving me or something.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder how that works. Like you drink it and then other people are attracted to you, or one
Maybe
person is
like
attracted to
whoever
you.
you think like the most about, maybe that's the person. I don't really know, but like at the end of
Hmm.
the day, I think I'd rather choose someone else's fate.
It would be kind of fun to like pick two people because it doesn't matter who you shoot; they're gonna fall in love, right? That's the whole.
Yeah.
That's how that works. So, who would you shoot with the arrows? Do you think to make them fall in love?
I'd probably shoot Caitlin Clark and some NBA star, and because I'd like to see their offspring.
That's
Like I
pretty
think that
cool.
person would be the most dominant person ever.
Yeah, I like that. I would choose me and yeah, shoot. No, I don't want to drink the love potion. I want to shoot. I want to shoot myself and then shoot at the other person that I want to fall in love with. Me and Anna Kendrick, but not in like a
Ooh.
creepy stalker way, just in a fun, lovely way.
Yeah, that'd be
The way this
fun.
works, yeah. And if I all drink the love potion, see, I think it's why it's you drink the love potion, not you give it to someone, because that's a weird implication of like you're giving them something and they're drinking it and they don't
Seems
know
like there's not some
no
consent
consent.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the magic word. No consent.
But
It'll get you every
if I'm not
time.
doing anything with it, consent doesn't matter, right? So we can shoot other people without their consent, but that's fine because I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, they're right. Right. Wait, when is it?
Hmm.
There's a lot of weird,
Hmm.
like, rapey vibes with this, like, magic law Cupid stuff. Who's this Cupid guy?
Yeah.
Who's he going around shooting people with arrows?
Yeah, I mean, according to the supernatural, they're like angel offshoots or whatever, right? They're like
Yeah, something like
angel
that.
angel adjacent,
Mm-hmm.
where they have some power but not a lot.
And they're
A
just,
demi angel.
just bored gods, just like trying to fuck with
Yeah.
humanity, basically.
Which they I
Which
mean,
is
we
fun.
deserve it.
I just said, yeah, I kind of said I would do that. I'd be kind of fun to do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just what it is.
See, the problem with humanity is they don't know what's good for them, right? And that's why God tried getting his hand into things in
Hmm.
the Old Testament, and then he was just like, God, dude, these guys just suck.
Yeah, they don't
And
know
then
what
he
they're
kind of
doing.
took a step away.
Yeah, well, that's what we get. That's what we
Yeah.
get. Here's the next one. Watch The Notebook every day for the
Uh,
rest of your life, or
uh,
The Proposal.
the proposal easily.
Yeah, The Proposal.
Sandra Bullock and it's bad what's his name?
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it's early Ryan Reynolds where
Early.
he's just a douchebag in every movie he plays in.
Yeah,
But
but
that's like
this one he's not.
yeah, he kind of turned around at that point. But yeah, definitely the proposal. Much better than the notebook.
I agree.
I did not
100%.
like the notebook.
Okay, do you want to celebrate a Galentine's Day with Amy Poehler? That'd be fun. Amy Poehler.
Yeah, that'd be
Or
fun.
celebrate Valentine's Day with Nick Offerman. I think this might be a Parks and Rec
Yeah,
reference that I'm
it's
just
gotta
not
be.
understanding if they. I think Valentine's Day I know of from Parks and Rec, but I don't know if Nick Offerman's character does anything in there. Probably like build a boat.
Well, yeah, I think one of his Valentine's Day things was he just ate like steak and eggs by himself.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I think depends on who you are. Like if you want to be like with someone that's very like open and talking to you and
yeah.
like maybe touchy feely, I feel like that's Amy Poehler. But if you just want to
Well,
rather
no,
be
I
like,
feel like a Galentine's Day is more like it's one of those like rebellious, like we don't care about Valentine's Day. We hang out with the gals, like all our we're friends. We love each other. That's what I think. We don't care about.
that probably makes
We're
more
all
sense.
single. We're definitely not desperate about it being single
I'll
because
go with Nick Offerman.
yeah, also a good Nick Offerman. Because it's like if you didn't care about you being single, you would just hang out with Nick Offerman. But if you want to like celebrate Valentine's Day because you want to celebrate Valentine's Day, you go with Amy Poehler. But you can't celebrate it the way traditionally it's because it's you're not in a relationship with
Right.
anyone. Yeah, because
Right.
you right because you know what you know what you are.
You
Would
are
you
what you eat.
rather take a date on to dance lessons or go to a cooking class? Those both
Man, I
sound
feel
fun.
like, yeah, I feel like I'd rather go dancing, even though I'm probably worse at dancing.
What
But
dance would you want? Would like ballroom dancing or would it be tango,
maybe tango would be fun. Like, I
square
would think,
dancing?
no, absolutely not. Um, yeah, maybe tango or salsa or something. Something where it's got a little bit more pep in the step, but like there's actually steps to
Kind of
learn.
sexy, you know?
Yeah.
Gotta be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then cooking, would you want to do like I would want to do a cooking class if it's like the Great British Bake Off themed, where it's like 3 rounds and it's kind of like that. That would be kind of fun. I would really enjoy that. I'd get way too into it and probably cry halfway through if like something didn't.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, it's fun, man. I love that show. Would you rather spend a weekend in Paris, the city of love, or Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love? So you'd have to take your brother if you went to Philadelphia. Just saying. I don't think you can take your like love there. I think is what the question's saying. It's got to be your brother,
Mm,
or take your girlfriend, but treat her the way you treat your brother while you're in Philadelphia.
dude, I mean, if I didn't have to take my brother, I'd probably say Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, I mean.
Yeah.
But um I guess Paris. I've never been, so that'd be cool.
Never been.
But I just feel like I don't know. I don't know anyone that's been to Paris actually, but I just feel
Um,
like it's not as cool as they make it seem to be.
I definitely but I'm like that asshole on vacation where I'm like I don't want to like I remember being in Memphis and Memphis has those ducks that come out of the hotel or whatever every day. Look it up. It's something like these ducks like every day they like come down the elevator because they have them. They're on the roof or I don't know what it is. Something and they walk through the lobby and everyone and there's literally like hundreds and hundreds of people that like line up in this lobby and like outside in the street and the sidewalks to like take pictures. And I was with some of my family and they were like, "Oh, we have to do this." And I was like, "I'm not doing that. That sounds so stupid. What? Watch ducks come out of a like, oh, but they're so cute." I'm like, yeah, I get it. I get it. But like,
Yeah, but the only
what?
reason we think it's cute is because they're not supposed to be doing that.
Why do I have to stand amongst like all these like weirdos just to watch ducks?
Yeah, there's probably a video online.
There is hundreds, thousands of
No.
videos of it online. I've seen it. It's cute. They're ducks. They walk through the lobby. But like,
Yeah, they're
why?
like people.
What are we doing? Why are we here? Why is this
Yeah.
our vacation?
Yeah.
Like, that's all anyone. I was like, can we go to a record store? We're in Memphis, Tennessee. If it was a thing where like we're walking by and we just happen to see the ducks, it's like, oh, look at that. There's the ducks from the internet. But
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna stand, 45 minutes till they come out of the elevator. Because literally at the same time every day. I'm not gonna stand here for 45 minutes. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Let's go to lunch, and if we get lucky, we'll be back on the way back to the car. I don't know. I don't. And again, I'm that person. I
yeah.
also like wouldn't be like I don't want to go to the Eiffel Tower. I see it, but like that's come on. Everyone goes to the Eiffel Tower. Let's go to like some weird place over here.
Yeah. Dude, no, I'm the guy, I'm the asshole that when we go to big touristy spots, like to me, I don't care to see the big touristy spots because I can look those up online. And most of the time they're buildings or something that you can see every angle from pictures. Now, the only time that the opposite happened to me where I was just like, holy shit, like this was cool, was the Grand Canyon for some
Yeah.
reason.
Well, no, because I mean, it's definitely pictures don't do it justice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
massive.
Yeah. I'm not saying like don't go visit these places, but like they're so overhyped.
Yeah.
I get it. And like again, when you're there, you'd be like, holy crap, there it is. But like, are we going all the way there? Are we gonna do like are we gonna like stand right next to it? Because I can see it. Looks really cool from a distance. If it's another thing of like, oh, let's go at night when they turn the lights on, we'll go to the top or whatever. Sure, let's okay, whatever. But like, I don't know.
Yeah.
People that like, I don't know. But Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was at in Montana at Glacier National Park, that was crazy. Like to see all that in person. And I have pictures and they're all terrible. I mean, they look good, but they don't have the same feeling of like standing there seeing how majestic it all is. Um, but yeah, so I'm sure the Grand Canyon was insane because it looks like a big hole when you look at pictures,
Yeah. And
but it's
but like,
huge.
yeah, it's a large hole. Like it's
Yeah,
it's the biggest hole.
it's
So
God's shitter.
and that one's so funny because everyone says that about it. It's like, no, you have to see it in person. Like
Yeah.
you just don't get it. And then you go to it, it's just like, oh,
Oh
I do
yeah.
get it now, which is crazy. Because like I was standing there looking at it, like kind of amazed, but also
Yeah.
kind of pissed off because there's just like, like, why is this so cool? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand
Well,
why it's so cool, but
it's
it
just
is.
so different than what you're
Yeah.
used to. It's like so wildly like, how does this even exist? Like you can't even imagine it exists. You're like, what is this? Is this
Yeah.
real?
It actually it humbles you. That must be what it is. It humbles you because you finally realize, like, oh shit, like there's a lot of other stuff going on in the world. And like I
Yeah.
am just this little ant in this large hole.
It's true, we are. Humans are kind of like ants.
Yeah.
And the buildings are all the ant houses, the ant hills, you know? That's what buildings
Yeah.
are. Interesting point, Mason. Let's do a couple more of these and move on. Let's see. Would you rather this is insane. Some of these are just insane. Kiss someone with bad breath or eat escargot?
That's snails.
Yes. Do they cook those? Are they
I
cooked
hope
snails?
so.
I'd imagine they're cooked. I can't imagine. I mean, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know,
I'm not
man. I
sure.
feel like a lot of those animals they don't cook though.
They don't look slimy when people eat them, but I've never actually seen someone in
I
person
think
eat
I'd
them.
rather make out with someone with bad breath.
Bad breath, like full on like tongues.
Yeah.
What if you like, you know, you get like grime and stuff on your tongue, and like you get like I guess like fuzzy or whatever. People like furry or whatever, like all that nasty. When you don't wash your tongue, you like do that like full on French make out, a right proper snog, and you like have like some of their tongue slime like on your tongue. You can like feel it in there.
Yeah, like a little carpet.
Yeah. So would you rather go on a gondola ride in Venice or a hot air balloon ride over Napa Valley, which is in California?
Venice for sure. I
And
don't
not Venice Beach. I'd imagine
you're
Venice,
right. Like
Italy,
where like the roads are water.
where Indiana Jones went in the third movie.
Oh, bad reference. I haven't seen that one.
Ah, Venice. Yeah, he says Venice. He doesn't say Vienna. It's Venice. He meets
Yeah.
that German lady, that hot Nazi that him and his dad both had sex with. He's an Eskimo bro with his own dad. How about that? That's Eskimo
I feel
bro,
like
right?
that's something you should not brag about.
That's what happens in the movie. So
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's a
if
dope.
that happens,
It's a
I
funny
guess.
reveal when Sean Connery says that.
Sean Connery.
Whenever
But yeah, I
he,
think I'd rather do Venice. I think that'd be a lot cooler than I I just don't I don't like anything that flies, honestly.
yeah,
And I know a hot air balloon. My thing with a hot air balloon, I just feel like the balloon's gonna pop, and I haven't heard of any bad air balloon accidents. So
uh, sometimes they get blown way off course,
yeah.
and they're in the air, so it doesn't take much. They go hundreds of miles off course. It's freezing cold up there.
Yeah. And like with the hot air balloon, you're just in a
Yeah,
basket. And if you want it to be romantic, like it's just you, your significant other, and then the person operating the balloon.
yeah, that's just weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna not have someone like a professional in there with me either.
No, they're gonna be there.
There's no way I'm trusting myself to do that. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Now landing an airplane on my own, maybe. Right? We
Yeah.
talked
Well,
about that a long time ago.
yeah, you are a guy.
But flying a hot air balloon, no control. What am I, a weatherman? Who am I? Who am I? Jack Frost? I don't control the wind. Well, he doesn't really control the wind. Anyway, no, no. It'd be if it was me on a date on a hot air balloon, we'd have to both be like it'd be a picnic where we just sit on the floor of the basket because I don't want to see. I'm not going to stand there. My knees will be jelly. There's no way I'm going to stand in a hot air balloon. Fuck that. No. Yeah, I'm not even going to go on. No, I'm staying in the car. You go. You go. Have an affair with the hot air balloon instructor. I don't care. Go. Go. You go. You go. I'm going to. I'm going to go. I'm going to go dress up as Cupid or dress up as the Easter Bunny. Dress up as I'd probably the Easter Bunny.
Was that the next one?
I don't know. I was trying to find something
Oh.
I would rather do than go on the hot air balloon. That was the one I picked.
Yeah, I think I'd rather
Kiss a
go Easter
frog,
Bunny too.
or the kiss a frog, or snuggle with a snake, than go on that hot air balloon. Not even gonna choose either or. I'm gonna say I'd rather do both.
Oh
You,
man, I don't know, dude. I
I
don't
wouldn't
like
want to
frogs
snuggle a
or
snake.
snakes.
I wouldn't want to snuggle a snake.
I think I'd rather snuggle the snake than kiss the frog.
I'll
But
kiss a frog.
I've already snuggled a snake once, kind of.
I've held
So
snake. I like to hold snakes, but I don't want to. If it's big enough that I can snuggle it, I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know. That feels. That seems like a bad idea.
I had a snake around my shoulders and like around my neck, and
Yeah.
then one of my buddies punched it and started wrapping around my neck. And
Oh, how
so
would he punch it?
because he's an asshole.
What a dickhead.
Yeah,
Find him and put him in a cage.
I can't. He's much stronger than me.
It happens. The assholes usually are. That's what they do. They get really strong, and so then they do bad stuff, and you're like, you're so big, I can't really do anything.
Yeah.
But they usually, get themselves in trouble eventually, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, he's a
Yeah.
great guy. He's just an asshole.
Speaking of the Kiss of Frog, in the original story of the Princess and the Frog,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't kiss the frog. That's not how you turned it into a prince. What she did was you take the frog and she threw it against a wall as hard as she could, and it
It
like would
broke him out
turn
of the
into a
shell.
prince. It would turn into a prince then, which is a little fun fact for you. Here's another fun fact for you. YouTube turned 20 this week. Can you believe that? Or last week, or it's 20 now, 20 years old.
I kind of feel like it should be older, but I guess
that's what
it's
a lot
not.
of people are saying. It's 2005. That seems weird.
Yeah.
I was 9, 10, 9.
I was in 5th grade.
I remember when YouTube, I sort of remember when YouTube came out. I don't remember being like, oh my gosh, what's this new thing? Because I was still a child, but it was definitely a thing. It was suddenly a website.
Yeah. Dude, I remember early YouTube, like really the only videos I remember were that Fred guy that did a lot of wacky stuff. And then the only other time I would go on YouTube was to look up like walkthroughs or something of a game, and then I would just get rickrolled every video.
Oh, dude.
But that's the only reason I like that song now, because it like literally my entire middle school career was just the intro to Never Gonna Give You Up.
That's so good.
That was actually a fun time of the internet. Like that was it
was a wild time.
Yeah, it sucked, but looking back on it, that's hilarious. You just upload a video saying like, "Hey, this video is for this," and then you just put in Never Going to Give You Up music video.
That is funny,
and it was so fun.
It worked every time.
Pissed me off.
Worked every time.
It was so funny.
That was the first true misinformation. That's what started it all. That was
that was like the first true meme,
Yeah, kind of was. Started 20 years ago. 3 former PayPal employees launched it. And it was originally intended as a dating website with the slogan "Tune in, hook up."
Ooh.
I've also heard theories that it was started because the guys who founded it, they couldn't find a video online of Justin Timberlake during the Super Bowl ripping off the wardrobe malfunction of Janet Jackson. They couldn't find that video, so they made their own video sharing platform. But I don't know if that's true.
That could definitely be true.
I can also see dating website, because that's all these freaking all of these silicon nerds all made like everything they make is just for getting chicks. It seems that's like the reason why they made any of these apps, which is just crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Mainly because like I never really got into YouTube like as like a media or like a streaming kind of service until like the past few years. So like to me it's something that's been a thing, because obviously I used it as a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just feels like it's been a thing forever.
Oh
so like
man,
the fact that I'm older than it by 10 years is crazy.
It wasn't much other than people like, I don't know, it was just like game footage, sports footage, news.
Yeah, it was like highlights and stuff.
Highlights of things, people eating food, pranks, stuff like that, small things, vacations and stuff like that. I remember typing in like girls kissing on YouTube. That was cool. That was cool. Back when it was still pretty risque. Like before it was really censored, before they got a hold of all that, it was pretty. It was still only girls kissing, but sometimes they'd only have a bra on.
Yeah, I definitely remember watching a lot of Katy Perry's "I Kissed a Girl" and I liked it music video.
Oh yeah. Remember the Shakira Rihanna video? Wow, that's way we.
I can't remember to forget you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Good song.
It's gonna be
it's actually a really good song, but the music video is that much better.
It's true. The fact that like we've kind of grown up, we've talked about this, I feel like, a lot the last few weeks, growing up with the internet and like technology. Like it was not brand new when we were around, but the internet was definitely, like, the World Wide Web was pretty spanking new when we were born.
Well, yeah, I feel like our generation was the first generation to have like a like a home or a family computer in most houses. So
Yeah, that
like,
for sure. I think so. Yeah, they had the
yeah,
personal computers, but yeah, for sure, like the mass production and mass ownership of personal computers.
yeah,
Man, I miss having a personal computer in the house. I mean, I
yeah,
do, but it was kind of fun when it was like that's the computer room.
yeah,
It was just a computer in there, a desk full of old files and shit that no one needed, tacks and pins, or
yeah,
a rickety old chair, and then like maybe a couch or a TV in there,
yeah.
maybe.
I just find it so funny how every office application has certain things in it that
Mm.
we understand because before computers were a thing, those were the items and objects that you use.
Oh,
Like,
like the save button.
yeah, like the save button, the floppy disk,
Yes.
like you
Yep.
had to save it on some device that could contain it or
That's
whatever.
definitely a tail end for us. But
Yeah,
yes, I remember a floppy disk.
I mean, you just said like pins. Like there's a lot of like pin and pin applications in those things now.
True.
Just and like obviously you would use that to,
CDs.
yeah, CDs,
I don't know.
files, like instead of a filing cabinet, it's now in this
Oh,
cabinet
right.
that's
Yeah.
on, your device.
Oh, that'd
Like
be weird. Hey, kid, what's a
it,
file? Oh, it's something on your computer.
yeah, it's
Well, let
it's
me
where
see.
you put your documents in the computer. It's like, yeah, do you know what a file cabinet is? It's like
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's just what it's called in the computer.
That's probably a good way to test like generations. Like, where do you put your files? In a filing
Yeah.
cabinet or on your computer?
Yeah.
That's
I was
interesting.
watching a King of Queens episode the other day, and
Nice.
his
Good stuff.
dad, which is like, and this is like in the early 2000s or
Mm-hmm.
maybe even in the 90s. But like they're in financial trouble, and his dad comes over. He's asking his dad for some money, and so his dad's like, I don't know how you got yourself in this situation, but where are your books? And he was just like, on the bookshelf. But it's just like one of those things. I feel like that's how the conversations we're going to have with younger people are going to go. It's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
okay, where do you keep this? And it's just like, in the C drive. And it's just like, the
What?
C drive? What are you talking
Hey,
about?
you put it in your
Or like in
car?
the cloud. And just like, okay, where's that?
That'd be so funny if like an old man was like, "Oh, Grandpa, you got to see these pictures I just sent you." He's like, "I don't. You didn't give me any pictures." He's like, "No, no, they're in the cloud." What? And he like looks up at the clouds.
Yeah.
Sunny day out, idiot.
Yeah.
Mac,
But
quit being gay. Probably something like that.
yeah, probably.
Oh wait,
But
fun. This is off topic, but I did see that the U.S. military tweeted that they're no longer accepting, they're not recruiting for transgendered people anymore. They're not offering any more like gender affirming care for any people already in the military that are transgendered. So, it's fucked up, U.S. military. It's yeah. I'm going to mark my words. Hold me to it. If a war does break out for whatever reason, there's gonna be a lot of transgender people all of a sudden doing the
probably.
doing the draft dodging.
But I mean, I think it's just so stupid. I feel like if anyone wants to serve their country, you should let them. Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
what's what's the point? What's the harm? What's the point of saying no?
It's
Like,
ridiculous. Especially
who
the
are
U.S.
we
military
to?
of all people. They're the most DEI hire. Like the Civil War. They literally were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, black people join the military. We'll put you on the front lines. We'll put you in
Yeah,
front of everybody." Like they're the they like the U.S. military loves getting the disenfranchised and just using them as fucking cannon fodder.
fodder.
So
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. I mean, not that I'm saying they should do that. I'm just saying it's weird that they're suddenly like they have this weird stance where they're like, I don't know. I don't know. Go fuck yourself, U.S. military. You suck. No one. They're already having trouble with recruitment numbers for the last like 5 years, maybe longer than that. Now you've just completely cut off anyone that did want to fight for their country. So
yeah,
way to go.
yeah.
Way
And I
to go.
mean, everyone like there's already a huge stigma against the military, how it brainwashes, how it doesn't take care of you, and all
On the
this crap.
soldiers,
So
the soldier, and I feel like I mean, for any woman in the military, it must be terrifying. The
yeah,
stories that they
I
say
bet.
is in the no help for like, if anything does happen. It's fucking the whole like chain of command thing. It's weird. We have friends in the military, so they tell us a little bit of things of how like the chain of command works, and it's weird, dude. It's out. I could never be in the military. I would never make it through training. Not even like not
I
saying
would
like
be too
physically.
sarcastic.
Exactly. I just could. I don't think I could. Honestly, I couldn't do it. I couldn't shut my brain off and just like take orders. I refuse that. I won't do it. That's crazy.
Yeah. They also just like do a lot of weird stuff when you first enter. Like, I think it's
Yeah.
like mandatory. You have to get your wisdom teeth removed, even if they don't need to be removed. Like, if there's a chance, like, I think not even if there's a chance, if you have them, they get them removed. So that way, if they ever do try to come in, you don't have to leave or miss time because of that.
Hmm. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing.
There's a
Um,
lot of weird things with it. But like,
it's just a yeah, it's a weird
at the end of
thing.
the day, I feel like our military is still a little bit more chill than any other countries, but I just feel like it's crazy as a country to tell people that want to defend it, no.
Yeah, you're
Because
not
it
allowed.
seems like they are going to turn against the military
We
at
don't
that
want
point.
we don't want you to defend us. Guess what? You have no defenses now. You have no
Yeah.
defenses. Well, at least I'll die on my tiny little molehill. All right, idiot. See ya.
It's
Um,
just like
it's
also
crazy.
I feel like there's just a lot of older people, and I'm not
Mm,
trying to like make this
mm,
an older person thing, but I just feel like there's a lot of people that are just very out of touch with what is going on in the world and how younger people think about what's going on in the world. Like
mm.
they don't like I feel like there's still a lot of people that will talk about like maybe like gay issues or something and be like, "Oh yeah, like would you want to be a part of that family or whatever?" I was like, I feel like kids nowadays don't give two shits about whether their parents are
Oh
gay
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever. Like, I
yeah.
don't think anyone cares about that
I
anymore.
I literally had a conversation about that very topic not 2 months ago with someone
Yeah.
who was wildly and weirdly against it.
Yeah.
And it was so it threw me so I was just like, whoa, what? And they just kept talking, and I was like, what am I here? Are you this is a shock. This is a shock, my guy, my person. And it was wild. I'm not gonna say who it was, but
No.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
after. But
Yeah. I mean,
anyway,
no, it's just
let's yeah, that's fucked up. Let's move on. Let's get out of this country because this country's a little bit getting me a little heated.
well, I mean, it's going to be hard to get away from it because they're trying to buy every other country now.
Well, this is in our well, this is the one that we're copying right now. We're trying to get back to uh, jolly old England. This is big news. This is just dropped the other day. My one of my sisters told me this, and I didn't believe her for the longest time, and I'm still pretty wary on it. Apparently, Jack the Ripper's identity has been revealed.
I saw something about that, but I think I've seen a lot of that stuff for the past 5 years. So,
It happens all the time.
yeah.
And this time it was historian. So Russell Edwards got into possession of this shawl like 20 years ago that supposedly was at one of the crime scenes, and it was
Okay.
like given to him by this person who got it from this person who got it from this person, and blah 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 throughout, since all the way back then, 130 years ago. And he used DNA, and the DNA he was able to name Aaron Kosminski as the killer. Um,
Okay. Was that guy like a physician or something?
a Polish immigrant who worked as a barber upon moving to London. He was
Oh.
23 years old when he went on his killing spree, and was allegedly and was actually a suspect at one point during the investigation. He eventually died in a
Oh.
mental institute in 1919. Um,
Okay. That could be.
so Edwards had some help from Kosminski's oldest brother's great great granddaughter, who provided a DNA sample um, that matched that was able to match that what was on the shawl, basically.
Oh,
Um,
so basically they didn't confirm his DNA from that. They just basically matched his DNA to the crime scene.
to an item that is supposedly was at one of the crime scenes.
Right, where
Yes,
he
he was
himself
told by
probably wouldn't
someone.
be.
Right. So the whole thing is a lot of people are saying this is not. I mean, he's trying to basically send it to the British courts to reopen the Jack the Ripper cases so that they can like implement this and see if it
What are
if
they going to
if they'll
do though?
they said, let's see, one of the victims, great 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 granddaughters of one of the victims, Catherine Eddowes, shared with the Daily Mail, which, by the way, this is why I didn't trust my sister when she told me about this, because the first website I looked up was the Daily Mail, and that is some horse apples coming out of that. So that's I was like, I'm gonna have to see some actual reporting going on about this. And I did read a Vice article too, so which gave me this exact information from the Daily Mail.
Hmm.
So but a lot of what's really annoying about the Vice article is at the very end it says whenever this legally becomes official, I'm sure we'll get some wild Netflix origin story on who Kosminski was and how he came to be Jack the Ripper. Will Zac Efron or Evan Peters step up to continue their convincing roles of crazed serial killers? Now we wait. Shut up. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of people are saying there's how do we know that it was actually at one of the crime scenes? How do
True.
we know there wasn't a bunch of other handlings of this shawl throughout the 130 years until it got to this guy's hands? Some a lot of people could have touched it and got DNA on it. We don't know. There's just not a whole lot of evidence. And like 5 years ago, there was a lady, a crime historian, who said that yeah, here we go. Patricia Cornwell, she was a crime author, and she had scientists analyze DNA samples taken from letters that were supposedly sent from Jack the Ripper to the police in a kind of like Zodiac killer kind of like fucking with the
Right.
police. And based on those, the DNA on those, the killer was suspected to be a painter named Walter Sickert, though many experts believe those letters are faked. And another genetic analysis of the exact same letters uh, claimed the murderer could have been a woman, right? So we have no idea still.
Yeah.
We'll have to basically this dropped like 2 days ago. This news from this time of recording, so it we'll have to just see if it develops further. He took it to the British High Court or whatever they're called over there to just see if they'll basically reopen the case, and then we'll see if that how that works. Well, it'll probably be like years before we find out. But there we go. They supposedly know Jack the Ripper is. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe more of the barber versus like the
Right.
painter, just because like I know like their biggest theory was like it was some kind of medical professional because the cuts and stuff on the victims were like so precise. So
Right,
like
exactly.
I guess you could kind of do that as a barber. Like it would make sense. You have to have a steady hand still and whatnot. So I like
Re
that theory.
It's a
But
good theory. It's I mean, it kind of
and the
yeah, like
guy
you said,
died in a mental institution. Like
you can kind of connect some dots. You're like, okay, I can kind
yeah,
of see that. I can kind of see that, and I'm fine with it. If it's real, then
yeah,
it's dope. Good, great. Same thing with like the moon landing thing. With like, was it fake? Is it, I don't know. Could we go there now? Because if we can, like, who cares if we couldn't do it back then? We can do it now.
yeah.
Um, but you should read the graphic novel by Alan Moore, From Hell.
Okay.
That is about he basically tried himself. Well, it's based off a book as well. To solve the Jack the Ripper murder case through this like graphic novel. It's got so many pages of actual text and like research on the case. It's crazy. You know who was part of it? The Queen. It was crazy, dude. It's nuts. That's what the book says. But it's a good read though. It's got like a lot of like occult and like magic and like black magic and stuff, and so it's kind of cool that way. Very supernatural. And
Nice.
there's also a movie based off of that graphic novel with Johnny Depp, which is
Hmm.
pretty good.
Oh, Edward Scissorhands.
No. It's called From Hell. He plays the police, the constable,
Oh.
the detective, or whatever. He's got these
Oh.
weird scissors for hands. I love it. It's so good. We'll come back to the U.S. and we'll stick with Missouri for these last two things. And in a classic Missouri fashion, we'll switch the topic to the weather because we love talking about weather in this state. And it's just about pea freezing time because it's about to get real cold, bro.
Yeah.
It's already
Yeah.
getting pretty chilly.
I just got a notification today about uh winter weather advisory.
Yeah,
So
it's
for the
it's gonna be one of those
19th.
things where like schools are gonna be canceled because of the just it being cold, not
Yeah.
snow or ice or something like that. We got a little bit of snow this morning, but the main thing is just the wind is just blowing right through the bones, man. And it's supposed to get like -10 and more next week, isn't it? Something like that. I mean, it's
Yeah, I
supposed to
think
get
that's I think it's supposed to get like a high of 9 or something
yeah. So
one of those days.
if you're like me and you like going outside and taking a nice whiz in the woods, Be careful because it'll freeze and then you'll slip. You'll
So
slip and pee.
Thursday, right now it's saying a high of 14 with a low of -7.
Can't wait. Can't wait. I love it.
Yeah, man, I'm about done with the cold weather, honestly. Like as soon as the warm weather hits, I'm going to be pretty over that too. But like
Yeah,
it's just now
eventually.
it's been cold enough for long enough where it's
Yeah.
just like okay.
What we
Like
need to do is
let's
every winter we need to move down to Chile to see my boy Alejandro because it's the seasons are reversed. So it'd be summer. It's summer down there for him. So down there he's like, it's too hot. He's not saying it like that, but he's probably saying, it's muy caliente. Oh, something like that, maybe. That he probably doesn't say it like that. I apologize, Alejandro. I'm so sorry if you're listening or watching. Thanks for watching. Anyway, so yeah, pee freezing weather. Can't wait. It's fun. You can pee on a wall and watch it freeze as you pee. As long as it doesn't pee up the stream, because that's gonna be hurt to pull out. That's gonna be hurt to pull out. That's the words that just came out of my mouth.
Yeah, we heard it. What's like
Mm.
an event in your life like where you remember being like the coldest you've ever been?
One time I was driving through the desert and it was a blizzard. It's pretty cold
Mm.
then. That was when I was a little kid. Um, the coldest I've ever been, probably when I was stuck on the side of the road for 5 hours because they were frozen over. I didn't want to get stuck on the ditch, so I just chilled in this person's driveway because the salt truck was supposed to be coming right back. It drove by. It was it drove after 30 minutes. It drove by, and I was like, "Oh, finally, it's here." It's been 30 minutes. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to get home, and it drove by, and the guy was like,
Add a salt.
and you see the little dribbles of salt coming out, like a sad little pee pee. And I just had to wait there. He's, I'll be right back. 4.5 hours later, complete darkness. Uh, I did help a lot of people get their cars back on the road that were falling in ditches, and I'd spread some salt. Another guy who was next to me in a truck had bags of salt in his truck, and we started salting the highway ourselves, or not the highway, but the back road ourselves, just a little bit, so that because some cars were still coming through, and we'd be like, "Stop! Don't go any further," because it was downhill, and then it went up in
Ooh.
a curve. So like it was down, then curve up. And so like people would go down and just slide to this line. As soon as they hit that curve, they'd spin. It was bad. I saw some bad crashes. Probably, I'm not even joking, probably 50, 60 cars. I saw like some of them were like literally like piling onto each other. It was not good. So me and this guy helped some of those people, and then we would salt a little bit. Like we'd walk a few steps, dump it a little bit, walk a few steps, and then finally that salt truck came by, and that dude was like, "You go right behind the salt truck. I'll be behind you. That way, if you slide, I can get you out." And I was like, "Dude, you're a fucking angel, dude. That guy saved my life." But so I had to sit. Basically, I'd sit in this on the side of the road in this person's driveway, and every 30 minutes or so, I'd turn on my car and get some heat going for like 5-10 minutes, and then I would turn it off and you know just sit and wait. Luckily, I was wearing sweatpants and I had my hoodie. Didn't have a coat with me. Didn't have gloves. Uh, didn't have a hat because I was at work. I was in a warehouse, a hot warehouse. And the next day, I went straight to. It was in the mall. It wasn't. It was the sports store in the mall.
The
Not
sports store.
yeah, the sports store. And I went there and I bought those big, like they have those big packages of like 100 hot hands and like hot feet. And I
Mhm.
bought two of those and a sleeping bag and a big fluffy cheap coat and a hat and gloves. Threw it all in the back of my car, and that's where it's been since. Every
Yeah.
car I have, I just put all that in there. I'm never getting stuck in that situation ever again in my life. It
Yeah.
ooh, that was very cold. That was very, very cold.
Yeah. I my coldest time ever, I went to Old Miss in Oxford, Mississippi for a Mizzou football game.
Okay.
So it was during football season. It was kind of cold,
Yep.
but for some reason it was warmer in Columbia, like maybe only got down into like the 40s or maybe even 50s.
Okay.
So and this was, it was like a last minute thing. One of my buddies got tickets and he's like, "Hey, who's going with us?" And I was like, "Yeah." I'll have to move some money
Yes,
around.
please.
But yeah, I want to go. Let's go. And I didn't pack anything. I packed maybe a sweatshirt
Yeah.
and jeans, and that was it. And I get there, and it's like 40 degrees during the middle of the day,
Oh,
and it's a night game.
oh,
And I remember
yeah,
just sitting in the stands,
yeah.
freezing my ass off. I was trying to drink just to stay warm, and I couldn't.
Been there.
I was just
Yeah.
literally sitting there, just like, can we
Oktoberfest.
just leave?
Oktoberfest last year. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Drinking just to stay warm.
Yeah.
Man, it was cold. And those people walking around, those with the lederhosens. Oh my lord, I could not believe it.
I
Screw
just
that, dude.
I just don't know, man. Like I just don't understand how people can do that. Like how are you built different, you know?
I went out earlier today, so I know it's so windy, and I have my sweatpants on, but I put pajama bottoms underneath. They have
Nice.
they're not very thick. They're not like fleece. They're very thin. They're just normal thin pajama bottoms. But I only wear them for this. Like if I need like just in case the wind's like really biting and it goes right through your clothes. This little
Yeah.
last layer, perfect. All I need. I don't get too hot, and it keeps me warm enough. Um, and my mom and dad, they were like, "Oh, it's such a good day." They were just driving around. I think they went to Hannibal. They were just driving everywhere. My dad sent me a picture. He was wearing freaking basketball shorts outside. It was like lovers leap, standing outside in like tennis shoes, shorts, and like a his like little
Like a
pullover
light
vest.
pullover or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the? My mom's literally bundled up head to toe. I can't believe it, dude. I don't know. That's what he does. I don't think he owns sweatpants. He has like jeans, slacks, and shorts.
Yeah. More power to him, man. I just
I guess
my
he has
my
too much
dad,
power. He has too much
yeah.
power. You don't understand what I'm saying? He's too
Yeah.
much.
My dad, so at my last job, uh obviously I worked a lot outside. It was a construction job
Yeah.
and we worked a lot during the winter and that sucked and I hated that, but it was okay. Like I could always get in a truck or like a trailer or something with heat.
Right.
But my dad one Christmas, I think, got me like two pairs of one was a flannel line jean and then one was like a felt line jean.
Excuse me.
And I was like, "Oh, thanks for these," but in my mind, I was like, "I'm never going to wear these. Like, that's dumb." I tried them on once, and I was like,
Yeah.
too hot, way too hot.
Oh
Not
yeah,
going to
yeah,
do it."
yeah.
And then one day, it was supposed to be really cold. I was like, "I'm just going to wear these pants just in case." And they are the greatest gift ever.
Yep.
They were, dude. I don't know the felt line ones. I still don't like. They make me sweat too much. But the
Right.
flannel line ones are
Mhm.
amazing, and
See?
I will wear those like
Yep.
up until like 50-degree weather.
Yeah, dude. It's like poetry. You don't. It's dumb until you need it,
Yeah.
right? And I'm pretty jealous about. I mean, I guess I can just wear them if I want. But like when I found out that women have like the fleece leggings,
Yeah.
crazy because they don't look like they just look like leggings.
Yeah.
Then like they'll like check it out and they show you like the or like inside of the leg or whatever, and it's like inside it's like super thick fleece. And you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? What else are you hiding in there?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I thought those were pretty tight on you, but like
Exactly.
they
They
don't
probably
show
they
any fluff.
they probably add a little bit to you as well. I don't know. I'm sorry. I sorry my hands were like that, but it probably adds a little bit to you,
Yeah.
which is
Showing.
if you yeah, show wing indeed. Indeed, my friend. Hey, and SNL's 50th anniversary is this week, I
I
think,
saw
also.
that.
Or the
I'll need to watch it.
is it the this is officially the 50th anniversary like episode? Because I feel like they've been doing 50th anniversary stuff for 3 years.
Well, I think the last big one they had was the 40th, right? When they had all those people
Dude,
on.
that seems like it happened 4 years ago.
Well, I
I'm
was
not
going to
even
say the
joking.
45th, but I don't think it was. I think it was a while
I think
back.
it
I bet,
was
I
the
mean,
40th.
10 years ago, we were in high school. So, and I think that's when it came out.
I thought that ugh, time just keeps going. It was my birthday last week, so the time I'm just thinking about how it's just constantly moving. Or is it
Oh,
moving?
no, it's a human construct. So it's
It's
not a real
stuck.
thing.
It's a time is a just a it's a record, and we just move. We're the needle,
Yeah.
and we're just
Slowly going to the middle.
yeah. Whoa, that's cool. Time is a record.
Yeah.
Whoa, I like that. I'm writing
Yeah.
that down.
Time is a
When
record.
we have a band, that's gonna be either the name of our. That's not gonna be the name of our album, but it's gonna be a song for sure.
Yeah. Time keeps on spinning, spinning, spinning
And
into
we're
us.
the needle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let's get out of here. Let's move on to our hero of the week.
Okay.
It is a Kansas City judge who
Oh.
blocked the restrictions on abortion providers, which means
Oh.
they say as soon as Monday we can start getting them babies out of there. So which is great because that's what everyone voted for: abortion access.
Right.
They've had all this legal bullshit with them trying to stop it from happening. They had all these restrictions that they wanted to put in place, and then this Kansas City judge, whose name I'm not going to put in here because I don't want anyone, being weird about that. So look it up you're on your own. Um, but they were like, nope, we're going to go ahead and not have those restrictions show up. So um, that allows a lot more people access to abortions. A lot more providers can provide that service, and we can save a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
So good job,
Also,
Kansas City judge. That's awesome.
also to anyone who lives in this country saying we're the freest country, um, I feel like you're against that, but that's a freedom. So maybe think on that,
Yeah.
Maybe think on that. Do you
Babies
want
have
to
the
live in
right
a
to die
free
too.
country or do you want to live in a country that you think is free? There's a difference there.
There's a big difference on that one, Big. You're on it. You're on one today, Mason. You're feeling
Oh man,
very.
I just been hearing so much bull crap today, so I'm over it, man. I'm just
Love it.
done with it.
I love this. I love this energy. I love
Ugh,
it. You see what
yeah.
Bill Burr's been saying about the billionaires on his podcast? That I've
I
been too
heard
scared
what
to
he
say.
said about like the United Healthcare shooter, like when that happened,
He said we need
and
to put these billionaires down like rabid dogs.
mm, well, yeah. I
Oh,
mean, hey man, here's the thing. If
crazy.
if you look at any American's problem, if you break it down enough, it probably breaks down to money and either some what you need is too much,
Yeah,
or you don't have enough of it.
yeah,
So, do you know who doesn't have that problem? Billionaires.
yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of agree to a certain extent. Or just be cool. Just be cool people.
Just be
And
cool.
maybe understand that after your first billion, the other billions don't really matter, Like,
You don't even need $1 billion. You
no.
don't even need that.
What's costing $1 billion that you think you need? Like, how about you give more money to your employees,
Yeah,
you build your company so much more, you make less money, but then you'll be known as the company for the people.
yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think the capitalists that are taking advantage of the system right now are dumb and the system's going to break down on them and they're not going to know what to do once it breaks down.
Well, it's like the 2008 housing crisis. It's just like that. Like the
Yeah.
idiots, they take advantage of it because they're
Yeah.
idiots and they don't realize that they're fucking this entire system up. And they get real big and bloated, and then it all explodes, and they get away scot free. Most of them.
Yeah.
So it's fun. I love when that happens. It's
Yeah.
the Big Short, basically. Just watch the Big Short, and you'll learn all that.
Yeah, that was a crazy movie. And
Scary movie. The
yeah.
scariest non-horror movie I've ever seen in my life. That movie fucked me up.
Yeah.
I liked it though.
It was a good
Needed,
movie.
I
It
needed
was
it.
a way better movie than I
Thing
thought it was going to
like
be.
America and like the four nations. By the way, USA in the Four Nations tournament. Like, way to go. 2 wins. We're going straight to the championship. We're the fucking best. When the first rounds have been in Montreal. The next rounds.
What are we talking about?
The Four Nations hockey tournament. Doesn't matter.
Nice.
It's
Okay.
USA, Canada, Finland, and Sweden. Who's the best nation? Who's the best hockey nation? Right now, it's USA.
Do we get any of our Canadian players or they go play for Canada?
It's like the Olympics. If you're from there, that's
Oh,
who you play
okay.
for. So we have 2 people from the Blues on the Canadian team, goalie, and on defense we have Pareko. And we played Canada last night and we beat them. There were 3 fights within the first 9 seconds. It like big fights. It was nuts. And I'm loving. Call me McDonald's. I'm loving it. Seeing every time the national anthem gets played in Canada, they all fucking boo. I love it, dude. It's so funny because they're
The
trying to sing the
Canadians are
national.
booing our national anthem.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
great. I love it. I want to see more of it because it makes us all look so fucking dumb. And that's what we need. I mean, that's the thing is like we know that America has been kind of a laughing stock for a while. and we need everyone else to realize that, and then we
Yeah.
can start fixing things once. Because it's at the farmers in Missouri right now that are like, I didn't do enough research on Trump and what he was doing with the farmers. I didn't know that's what I was voting for.
What
There's
do
a
you
guy who said
mean?
I didn't have time to do proper research, and now I feel like I've been taken advantage of. Which means he fucked around, and now he's in the finding out phase of this whole scenario. Which is that's what they love. Missouri people love saying "fuck around, find out," but they don't like finding out, do they?
No.
It's
No.
great. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I feel bad that you might have to sell your farm, and like your whole life is basically fucked by these freezing of these farmer funding. It does. That's tragic. It's literally what Trump said he was going to do. He literally said he
Yeah.
was going to freeze all this funding and all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's
And he
so.
mentioned tariffs very early on.
I
Now
feel for
his
you.
yeah.
I feel
Not
for you.
really. I don't. I don't.
I feel a
Like,
little bit because like because they real Mason. They don't know what they're doing.
and they voted, and that's on them.
He said
So
this guy, the person I'm referring to, which by the way, just look it up. I'm not gonna say his name. I'll tell you later. But he said he didn't have enough time. He did. I think this guy had good intentions. I think it's
I'm
hard
sure
to
they do.
no. Listen to this. He voted on. He figured out who he was going to vote for president by taking an online quiz.
Yeah.
He answered like questions online, and it was like, I think you should vote for this person, and it was Trump, I guess. And it's what sucks, and this is why I feel a little bit because they did get taken advantage of. They were
Yeah.
straight up lied to. They
Yeah.
fell for the lie, the obvious lie. They fell for it, which is more on the Department of Education, which I've always yelled about.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. I feel bad because it's like he thought he was gonna get help, and he's getting all of his life tucked underneath him, like the rug. I mean, which sucks for him. But it's also like fuck around, find out. You
Yeah.
had plenty of time to do research, and
Yeah.
any amount of time would have shown you that Kamala wasn't gonna fuck you like everyone thought she was.
Yeah.
It's so crazy because
Yeah.
now they're looking back, they're going, I should have
But
realized. It's like,
Kamala was a woman,
yeah, it's
you
like Mitch
know?
McConnell. When Mitch McConnell's like, Trump's such a bad president. He's a terrorist. He shouldn't be president. It's like you're the reason he's president again. You
Yeah.
are Mitch McConnell. Stop trying to. You're not going to get on our good graces just because you're like agreeing with us all of a sudden. You realize
Yeah.
you said you like. Where's Captain Hindsight right now? I wish Captain Hindsight would come and save all these Republicans' lives
Yeah.
by just
I mean,
standing there.
I listen, I do kind of feel bad for those people that feel like they got taken advantage of. Like, I feel like you could have done some independent research and found out a little bit more, or just understand how politics have worked for the past 20 years and understand one side definitely favors one side and the other side favors another side. Like, however, I will give him this. I don't agree with a lot of Republican policies, but at the same time, the Republicans won this vote with the clear lie and all this stuff because Democrats suck.
Yeah,
Like, that's
Democrats have.
Democrats' biggest flaw. They can't
Yeah,
win worth shit.
they just. Yeah, it's yeah. That's the problem with the Democrats. The Republicans are so loud and aggressive, and that's how they get things done.
Yeah.
Because they're action oriented. They're fast.
Yeah.
They're reactionary. Well, no. The Democrats are reactionary. They go,
Yeah.
hey, you can't do that. Hey, you can't do that. Hey, you can. But while the Republicans are just running away with the government, they're going, hey, wait, you can't do that. Hey,
Yeah.
come, you better not. Hey, it's like the thing where it's like, you better not walk out that door. You stand in front of that bus stop. Don't you get on that bus. Don't you
Yeah.
buy a train ticket. Don't get on that train in Turkey. Or I don't know why we're in Middle Europe right now, but we are.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just, I feel like one side seems a little bit more evil, and then the other side is just a little bit more dumb.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's gonna. And it's the thing. It's like nothing we can do about it right now. I mean, protest.
No.
Obviously, everyone protest. There's a big one on President's Day. Can't wait. Go for it. But things are the prices are gonna raise. Things are gonna get. Food's gonna get out of control. We're all gonna starve and die. I can't wait. Let's go.
Housing prices are going to increase a lot.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Schools are failing, and then we'll probably be
know.
bought out by private companies, and then school's going to be super expensive.
Yeah.
But
I know I didn't do this. That's what keeps me going.
yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, none of us did this. Like, I think at the end of the day, this was what was going to happen.
This is what was going to happen.
I feel like every every political debate, I feel like all debates leading like the past 20, 30 years, I just feel like they don't they don't ask questions, or the questions
Mm,
they do ask, the answers that they get don't answer the question. Instead of like, okay, so we understand your policy there. What are you doing about this? Like
yeah.
that's my biggest thing about like what are they called, mediators or whatever for debates?
Hmm.
Like they will they're too worried about asking all the questions they're going to ask that they don't
Right.
get an answer for the
They need
question
it,
they
it either
ask.
needs to be like no time limit on like how long. Like, this isn't going to be 2 hours. Don't set it at 2 hours. Just make it. If it's 6 hours, make it 6 hours. This is the fucking presidential debate.
Yeah.
If you're worried about getting all the questions out, we got to make sure we answer these questions. And I want someone to sit there and be like, no, you didn't answer the question. Answer the question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Answer the
No,
question. No,
that's
no, no. Answer the
no
question.
no workarounds. What are you doing about
And
this?
then like if
What
they
is
keep,
the plan?
throw your pin at them. I gave you like
Yeah.
a present. Well, if you look at it from this angle, like I was saying, and then just all of a sudden like a pin just hits. Oh, what the? Answer the fucking question.
Yeah.
God, dang it.
I just don't get it. And I think we just have come to a point where, as a society, we need to understand we got to dumb stuff down. And
No,
we got to,
it's been dumbed down.
no, we need to dumb it down to its max. Here's what I'm talking about.
That's how
Think,
fascism gets started. I don't know. Keep going. Keep
well,
going. Keep going. Keep going.
think about it this way. So, right now, everything is so complicated and convoluted because of loopholes and shit like that,
Right.
right?
Oh, okay. Yes, I understand. Yeah.
What if we just started passing laws and you couldn't do more than like 5 sentences in that law? Because like at the end of the day, whether you're pro or against abortion, the law should say you can have abortions, you cannot have abortions. Why is it muddled with all this other crap
Because they
that
don't. Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
even get to vote on all that extra crap? Like what you vote on in like when you're actually like voting is just a little summary
Excuse me.
of what that bill is. You don't have any idea of what else is in there. It's just like it's all
But if
dumb,
you,
man.
all you gotta do is a little bit of research though, and you can.
Right, but do you actually so
They make it. They
for
make it
something to be
wordy, but because they know most people when they see it, they'll just go, "Oh, I'm not gonna read all that." But if you just look at it a little bit, you're like, "What is this about?" And then you know.
okay, no, I agree with that. But when you do that, doesn't that kind of piss you off? Like, why wouldn't they just say that?
Yeah, it's annoying, but being pissed off about it's not gonna fix it.
Or we could change it where they can't do that.
Right, but it's a thing. It's like you're not gonna fix it right now, so you got to
No.
play the game. That's the issue too. Is
Right,
that
but the game
the
corrupts
Democrats
people.
try to play the game, but the Republicans know all the loopholes and stuff. So they're playing with
Right.
like cheat codes, and Democrats are just like, "Hey, what? How are you doing that? You must be playing on PC."
I don't know, man. The whole system's dumb. I think a lot of people think the system's dumb, and for some reason we still have the system. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, George Washington didn't want two political parties. There you
Yeah,
go.
true.
So
And yet
here's
we're here.
and speaking of this, listen to this. This is from our representative Jason Smith. Uh, with this whole guy who was talking about the Missouri farmers and whatnot, kind of how he didn't have enough free time to do research and he feels like he's been taken advantage of. The Jason Smith basically said, right now it's a little bit disruptive, but that's what this administration promised whenever they were coming to Washington, is that they would be disruptive. So that's they get sorry.
Yeah.
That's what they even their that's what's interesting is that there are some Republicans like MAGA people that they're finding out, right? Which is kind of good. We want them to find out, not just because it's funny because they're idiots, but also they're seeing the light. And like other Republicans, like the really higher up ones that are like really brainwashed, are like calling out them like you guys are idiots. He's like, I feel like you guys lied to me about what you promised. And they're like, shut up. No, we didn't.
Yeah.
You're like, and then they're not gonna get any sympathy from the Democrats for a while.
No.
I feel like it's real bad because eventually we're all gonna have to get together and be like, and go after the 1%. But it's like until then, it's gonna be a lot of crying from one side and a lot of like, this
Yeah.
we fucking told you for years, and you told
Yeah.
us we were fucking gay. So fuck you.
Yeah.
And then eventually be like, all right, now they're shooting at all of us. Let's shoot at them. Right. It's
Yeah.
like, it's gonna have to be, it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be a little bit unsympathetic for a little bit. But that's what they, oh, I guess we could just forgive them immediately and join forces, but it's
I
almost like
mean,
that's what they
we
get.
should forgive.
But a lot of
It's
people are
hard
that's
for
what they get. That's what they deserve.
yeah.
But that's we
Yeah.
shouldn't be like that. But it's also like, it's been fucking years of dealing with your bullshit. So
Yeah.
I'm good to see you're getting your own medicine, but also like, I want to be a good person.
Yeah. It's just I just find it so crazy, especially in today's world, how we're still divided like 50-50. Like it's just so crazy to me. Like I just don't understand how now where everything's at. Like,
Yeah.
how do we not see? Like, we're all in the boat that we call America, and it's
Yeah.
sinking.
They don't care about any of us.
And the 1% is in the crow's nest.
When they go abroad, like when these elites go to other countries, they probably don't even say they're from America. That's how little they care. They go to France and go, "Oh, where are you from?" I don't know what country. That wasn't a French accent. That was just a random accent. And
Right.
then like Jeff Bezos is like, "Oh, I'm from London or whatever." He's like, "Oh, I went to school in America, but I don't live there. Fuck, gross. These guys are idiots, right?" He's like,
Yeah.
I just work there because they're cheap labor." You don't even. He's like, "Yeah," because the billionaires, they don't need to be. They're above the borders. That's the whole thing. They're above. They can afford to be international citizens. They're not one country. Because then it's kind of fun. Because then they're like cupids. They're like the gods that can like, we're all their little playthings, and they can make us fight and and fall in love. And like, oh, look at this celebrity couple. Oh, aren't they cute? Now breaking them up. Now you hate them. Oh. Anyway, this was a fun episode, Mason. Why don't you tell everyone they can find you online for more of your sweet political rants?
I don't post any rants, but Mason Greenwell 52 on Instagram, and then M Greenwee on TikTok and Blue Sky.
Nice.
I need to figure out how to share stuff on Blue Sky, but
It's just a share button, I think. You mean like clips and stuff?
yeah.
You just post them like normal. Like you just post a little
Okay.
video clip. Yeah.
I haven't done any of that yet. I'm kind of behind on TikTok, but
I don't know how to tag. I don't know if I can tag people on Blue Sky. Might be able to, but I've been posting
I mean, you can
clips on Blue Sky on the
okay.
Mellow Brick
Maybe
Road
I'll
page.
like just like retweet that or something. But
Yeah.
So apparently TikTok users or people that had TikTok and deleted it, you can get it back again. It hasn't been the 70-day thing yet, so I don't know what's going on there. But my girlfriend who deleted it once it was like first shut off for 24 hours was able to download it. So
Yeah.
so if you are wanting to get back on there, you should hopefully be able to. I don't know what's going on though.
That is weird
But
because I also saw her on Tinder again. Which
that's
I thought
a
was
fake
strange.
account. Fake account.
Well,
Why are you on Tinder?
she was looking for a third. Why? I'm single. I can be on Tinder.
Oh yeah.
I'm not on Tinder though. Anyway, you can find me on Instagram. That's my Tinder. Find me on Instagram at Van Windsor. If you want some real sauciness though, OnlyVans23 on Twitch. That's where you get the real videos of me in hoodies. And was there anything else? Yeah, no, just that. And then the show is on Instagram, mbr.pod, and also on Facebook. Can't decide if I want to get it off Facebook or not. I go back and forth. But I don't know. And then yeah, mbr.pod for Instagram, and Blue Sky, of course. Yeah, Mellow Brick Road .bsky.social or however that username goes.
Yeah.
So follow us there. Follow us on Blue Sky. I don't follow anyone other than you, I think, on that. I don't have it myself personally, but I just have the show has it. And I just don't know who to like follow. I don't know. I guess they just pick it. It's the same as usual. You just pick people you'd like to know in your life, like celebrities and whatnot, but like no one you actually know.
I would treat it like old Twitter.
So I was tweeting about other kids making fools of themselves during high school basketball games.
And I was tweeting song lyrics.
Nice.
And all caps because I meant it and I was passionate about it.
Oh my lord. Anyway, let's get out of here, Mason. This has been a weird episode near the end. Everyone, enjoy your week, and we'll see you next time. Mellow Manifestations.
Stay safe out there.